In this video, I'd like to walk you through with a little more detail how to complete the pizza project calculation sheet. I have a copy here of only one segment of the sheet. Notice that when you complete the sheet, you will actually need to contact 4 locations, but this sheet, the part of the sheet that I'm showing is just showing one location. You'll need to contact 4 different locations. Before you contact the pizza restaurant, you want to make sure you have some consistency with the different pizzas you're inquiring about. So before you contact anyone, decide on your consistent topping. So for example, build your pizza. Make it simple. Maybe just pick one topping. For example, a sausage pizza. When you call or when you contact the restaurant, you want to find out 3 pieces of information. You need to find out the diameter, the price, and the number of pieces. It's not really important what you call each of those sizes, though you could get that information. It may be helpful to you. So you might see that this is a small, medium, and large, or maybe it's a individual pizza, a medium pizza, and an extra large. But whatever the case is, that part, like what the size is called, isn't as important, though it could be helpful when you go to write about your findings, so it wouldn't hurt to know that. But the pieces you must have are the diameter, how many pieces do they cut it in, and the price. Once you have that information, you're ready to begin the calculations. Let's say that I've made that contact. I've looked online and found some diameters like 16 inches, 14 inches, and 10 inches. I'm going to go ahead and just build these examples out from those sizes. And let's just name some prices to make it easy. We'll call this $10, $11, and $12. Not really very accurate, but we'll call it that. I think that a standard, maybe for a number of pieces, might be 8 pieces for a small or a medium, and a large is, let's just call it 10 pieces. Now, when I go to start the calculations, I'm going to need to be able to find the area of a circle. But before we move on to that, let's recap what has already been covered. First step is to decide on some consistent toppings so that each time you contact a new restaurant, you're using the same toppings. And that allows you to be closer at comparing 2 similar things, right? And then the next step after you've decided on your pizzas is to contact the restaurants. You could get some of this information online, but you may need to pick up a phone and call someone to get additional information if it's not available online. Let me erase this so we can use the screen for the area calculation. Now the area of a circle can be calculated by doing pi times the radius squared. I'm given a diameter, so if we have that the diameter is 10, then the first step in calculating the area is to recognize the diameter is this distance all the way across. So the radius, this distance halfway across, is going to be half the diameter. And then the next step at calculating the area is I'm going to replace pi with an approximation, 3.14. So really, I'd say a more accurate way to write this, instead of saying that the area equals this amount, I'm going to say it's about. Now, if on your sheet you say equals, that's okay. But make sure you understand that because this 3.14 is an approximation, pi does not equal 3.14. Instead, it's about 3.14. But because we're approximating a value for pi, which pi is simply the ratio between the diameter and the circumference of the circle. So it's how the circumference and diameter relate to one another. But that value that we're going to use is an approximation. And then the next step is to square this radius. Now we had that the diameter was 10, so that gave us a radius of 5. And when I square that, I'd get 25. And then I could multiply the 25 times 3.14. When I do 25 times 3.14, I get 78.5. So our area is approximately 78 5/10 of a square inch. So 78.5 inches squared. The next box asks me to find, what's this box here? The price per piece. I'm looking for a price, so I'm going to have a price in the numerator, and we're doing the price per piece, so what I'll divide by is the number of pieces. This one cost $10, and if I divide $10 by 8 pieces, I'm getting $1.25. That seems like an accurate possibility. So I could say $1.25. Now for the price per square inch, I'm going to start with the price again, because I'm looking for a price. So the price is going to go in the numerator, and I'm going to divide by the area. When I divide by the area, I've got $10 divided by 78.5. I am getting, and this is still dollars, 0.1273885. This is what my calculator tells me. It actually is going to keep going, but my calculator stops here. Notice from the directions that what we're doing is rounding to 4 decimal places. So that would be rounding here. But as I round, I want to notice that we've got an 8 following that 3. So when I round this, I'm going to, let me write it below it, I'm going to get 0.1274, because this 3 goes up because the 8 is bigger than 4. When it's 5 or greater, you round up. So we'd have 0.1274. Be careful, if you want to convert that to cents, you can do so. So I could write this as 12.74 cents, or you could leave it as dollars. 1,274 10,000ths of a dollar. Now I know it may seem awkward looking at a price with 4 decimal places, but what does this mean? It means that it's a little more than 12 cents a piece. Now the reason that we're rounding to 4 decimal places is so that as I get these other values, I can compare to a fuller detail. So let me give you an example of what I mean by that. Let's say that when you do your calculations, you get these different price per square inch. Let's say, so this one is 1274. If the next one is 121 cent, so as I round these, I'd see that if I rounded just to the nearest cent, oh, in this case, wait, let me show you. Let me make this round up also. You see how even when I round, if I round these to the nearest cent, they both go to 13 cents. So I can't really see, well, which one is a better price, which one has a lower price. But when I keep it to 4 decimal places, so that's as if this one had a 0 at the end, right? So that they both have 4 decimal places. When I look at the two numbers this way, I can see that this bottom one, 0.1250, is slightly less than the 0.1274. So that's why we're using 4 decimal places. Anyhow, I hope that this sheet is a little bit easier for you to finish now after this video. If you do have further questions about the calculations, please let me know.